guys. Oh, I have mic monitoring on. That's not ideal. Okay, sorry. Oh, there we go. Hello. How's it going, guys? I made mistakes. I had audio monitoring on. Oopsie whoopsie. Alrighty. Am I a quiet boyo or am I still quiet? At like full of audio, like full. This is my full. I mean, OBS says I'm good. Slurp. I got my beautiful coffee. If you want to see the song there. Hey Robo, has been a long time. Haven't seen you popping around very much. Let's what am I? How do I want to test this? Let's just make a world, shall we? We're gonna need a super flat. I feel like this is probably the best idea. Yeah, let's do it. Alrighty. So, today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on specular occlusion. Not just specular occlusion, just specular in general, sorry. Oh my god, Past Life Pro, what's up, my dude? Any news on Continuum 2.1? Well, that is what we are going to be doing today. Will you show a new sky cube map? So, our sky isn't actually a cube map. It's a legit sky. Also, did I crash my game or something? Like, are you having a stroke? Nah. Oh yeah, look at that. What the fuck happened? Minecraft? What'd you do? Huh. I got mad at the authentication. Why would you be mad at authentication? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Huh. Is creativity still a part of my life? Is that in a reference to me or is to someone else? However, yes, we will be looking at the new Sky model today. Apparently, my game decided to crash. Oops. There we go. Oh, well good. A black screen. How wonderful. Sorry, not feeling it. Oh, really quickly though, before I show anything, we need to turn that off. And now we can look at our game. Alrighty. Welcome to the new Continuum Sky. So, sorry, actually let me rescale some audio stuff here really quickly. Alrighty. Oh, so just new sky. No, like, so the new sky isn't the only thing that's going to be coming. The new sky has a lot of implications to the rest of the shader. The sky is one of the primary light sources for the entire world. So, like, you know, all of this is skylight. So, excuse some of the noise right now. Our denoising isn't up to snuff. at the moment. But there's a lot of bugs in this current version that I'm showing you right now. You'll see a lot of weird randomness. Skylight is still currently being implemented. Focal doesn't run on Optifine shaders. Yeah, no, these are completely different. And you guys are going to be getting actually a pretty big insight into how our shaders are developed and everything else today. While this can run Optifine shaders as well. Will we all need to rewrite Continuum again? Not really, no. So currently, because we're on the first pass of Continuum 2.1, we haven't moved any of our uniforms to uniform blocks. However, this pretty much is the only thing that we're actually going to need to change across the shader, but everything else is the same. So when we move over to Vulkan, it won't be a big problem. That being said, that's why we're developing an OpenGL 4.5. We're keeping to core standards as much as we can. We're almost there. We're almost there. So will focal engine shaders? Yes. Like, the answer is just yes. It enables shader developers to make more efficient rendering methods by and far. It won't necessarily. You can't load an Optifine shader into Focal Engine. Whenever you're loading an Optifine shader, whenever Focal is installed, it's just running through Optifine. Focal Engine doesn't touch it at all. So what we're gonna be doing is a lot of core engine optimizations that Optifine simply hasn't done. We're going to be removing a lot of the slowness from the render loop, and we are also going to be basically removing all of the micro stutter within the game. So currently, movement and intersection checks within Minecraft are done 20 times a second for 20 TPS. That involves like collision detection between the camera and the wall and everything else. How's the progress on Focal and Continuum RT? This is all in the same. So 2.1 and Continuum Early Access is actually pretty much just Continuum RT with different lighting. So all of the post-processing, the color profiles, everything else is pretty much the exact same. It's just RT is more of a reference renderer. It's still a real-time reference renderer. However, Continuum 2.1 or Early Access is the huge thing. Yeah, so right now the biggest problem that we've, again, I'm not showing any metrics for the shader in the stream, so sorry, don't even ask. However, the microstutter within the game basically limits it to about 90 FPS, roughly, on the 20 tick stuff. So not every frame has a tick. And a tick is a thing in Minecraft that happens whenever a bunch of events are processed in a big batch. Now, that tick adds stutter, and that stutter is vicious. So, while our frame rate in between those ticks is much higher, it's not actually higher because every single time one of those ticks hits, we spend a ton of frame time on it. You say Windows 7? It's not Windows 7. Windows 10. All day long. So the microstutter problem is severe. It's very, very severe. So we're going to be kind of removing all of that. It's just gone. We're also removing transparency sorting in opt for order independent transparency. Our shadow map will be hyper optimized using multi-view. All kinds of crazy ass shit will be happening to make this as performant as possible on modern hardware. And I do want to really emphasize on modern hardware. This is not going to be something that you're going to be running on your 2004 laptop. I'm sorry. We're optimizing for Pascal up, pretty much, and that also goes for AMD years. So RDNA and RDNA 2. So, yeah. That allows us to focus in a lot harder, and it allows us to treat these cards more like consoles, which is really big, because we can make really, really, really low-level optimizations for these cards, knowing how they work. So... Yes, so currently we are working in Focal Engine, and for the 2.1 release, we have had to bring a couple features over, or a couple new features into Focal Engine to get this done. More specifically, getting in, so a long time ago we used to have tutorials. However, when I made the tutorials, I was in no place to be educating. I think at this point I would have a much better time being able to actually educate properly and convey the concepts. What's my hardware like? I'm currently running a 9900K and a 1080 Ti. So, yeah. New shader tutorial whenever I have time. And I can promise you that is going to be a minute. It's probably going to be not associated... The tutorials probably won't be associated with Continuum at all. It'll probably be more of a Shader Labs thing, in all honesty. Continuum will be our privatized stuff, whereas Shader Labs will be our educational and academia forward space. 2.1 has always supported color lighting. Oh, Jesus. Hasn't it? Pretty sure. Yeah. No. Always has. Yeah, so I used to, but that is going to be a long ways out. I can say that much with certainty. Yeah, no, they weren't very good. So rendering is an interesting thing to get into, just inherently. I would recommend probably not starting to learn in Minecraft, because Minecraft is not going to teach you what modern rendering pipelines are like, and they're not going to have much applicable use outside of just making the mod. Focal Engine tutorial when? Actually, that will happen one day. One day. Focal Engine will be in the hands of all of you. That scares the shit out of me, by the way. Y'all are insane. Alright. Probably Focal will once it becomes public. Yeah, I mean, that's basically kind of what I did. It's really hard because I really didn't start at the right points to be able to actually get people into fully understanding what rendering is actually like, instead of just introducing the concepts in a very sparse and slow manner. Okay, so what are we gonna... So I know I said I was gonna work on specular, but something is bothering me very, very deeply right now about all of this, because we're not upscaling things correctly. So let's find out what's going on, shall we? Okay, actually, really quickly, I want to show off. There is no style here. The entire goal of Continuum, even like in the very, very beginning, was to give the end user full control over the final look of the shader. So our goal is essentially to make it look as close to a camera as possible. So like you basically just took your phone up and you just took a picture. Now, in previous versions of Continuum shaders, our settings for these were very complicated and very non-user intuitive. If you've ever used something like Photoshop or DaVinci Resolve or Lightroom or a number of other photo editing and other color editing softwares, it's a lot more difficult to get into. However, with the inclusion of Focal Engine, we now have all of these fancy-ass settings that I'm not going to show you right now that allow us to create custom GUIs and things like that to actually manipulate the values within the shaders. So color wheels, sliders, all of that kind of stuff, and then no recompilation for these kind of things, so it's immediate feedback as you scroll through. Okay, so anyways, today what we're going to be working on is specular IBLs. However, before then, we're going to work a little bit on our ambient light because I fucked it up. So, that being said, I'm going to give a little tour of how Focal Engine works as far as the shader is concerned. So, currently we have, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little shameless, but we have hijacked parts of Optifine still to be able to accomplish some of the things that we're doing. We're running it in a very similar fashion, going through the block properties and the shader properties to be able to flip settings off in the engine. In the next, so not in the next version of Focal, but the version after that will no longer be reliant on Optifine in any form of way, and will be able to install without Optifine as an option, like as the default. But of course, if you want to add it, it will always be an option, so you can run your other shader packs and your other resource packs and whatever else you guys want to do. Okay, so anyways, what we have added, which is basically everything, is we have a render pass JSON, and we'll ignore the other ones because I don't want to show them off yet. And then we'll have our textures JSON, which I will show off a little bit. So in shaders, typically we have buffers and images and frame buffers and all kinds of things. In Continuum 2.1, we're pretty much an entirely compute-based post-processing pipeline. We really don't rely on any raster effects at all. It would be me. I'm .modded. I'm the lead developer, I think, for Continuum. I also own the company, so that's me. That's me. Okay, so textures are cool. In Optifine, he gives us 16 textures to play with, and I can already promise you that would not work for Continuum RT or 2.1. We're currently using 25 textures, of which a lot of them are ping pongs, which adds an extra. So there's probably in the lines of 40-ish textures that we're going to be using. Also, to boot, how many render passes are we at this point? It's getting fucking kind of crazy. Let's see here. How many sets of... So we have 27 shader passes at the moment. How is pure ray tracing possible without the internal source code of the game? That is a beautiful, beautiful question. So hacks and more hacks on top of hacks within shaders. So essentially what we did is we overrode the shadow map. So the shadow map is essentially rendering the world from a different perspective. So it's just another set of all of the geometry's draw calls. And a shader can move around the geometry wherever it wants to. So we used a combination of vertex shaders and geometry shaders to be able to build a hierarchical voxel tree, or like an octree, if you will, that contains all of the world chunk generation information. And that's why currently Continuum RT is limited to fully cubic geometry, because there is no subcubic intersection checks. So it's just it's very complicated in all honesty, but it's also very simple at the same time. So the hard part is to make it run fast. Now, in Continuum RT, once we actually are digging in further and further, we're going to be moving the engine to Vulkan, which enables us to use the VKRT extensions, which enable ray tracing on a better level. Instead of using something called a voxel tree or something like that, or an octree, if you've heard those words before, we're going to be using something called a BVH, or a bounding volume hierarchy. This allows us to add in non-cubic geometry from anywhere. Is it made the same way? It's actually fairly similar. We both started at different times, but the concept, or we both started at similar times,
but the concept was very similar between us, yeah. The only difference is he does not use a hierarchical system. He only does a linear trace. And that is how we are able to do as many bounces and as far of bounces as we do. I want to mention that the typical ray count for any given pixel is 27 to 32 within Continuum RT, depending on where we are, whereas Sonic Aether uses around 2. Can an 8th grade make a shader? Probably. Probably. It's gonna... So, like, shaders are very basic at, like, a base bottom level, but they're not easy once you get into a couple spaces up. In all honesty, you can probably make a shader just by copy-pasting shit from Shader Toy, like pretty much everyone does in the very, very beginning. Figuring out the math or anything else behind it can take a minute. Linear algebra and calculus are used most commonly. Linear algebra is probably more common for most developers. However, for me personally, I use a hell of a lot more calculus, in all honesty. Calculus and trig. I'm more of a light transport researcher than anything, in all honesty. So that's kind of my game. So it really just depends on where you want to go. So we have 27 passes here. All of them are writing to their respective images and everything else. If you have coding experience, then the syntax should come easy, but the concepts are still going to take a minute to get. And yeah, join the Cheda Labs Discord. I started programming... Oh, Jesus Christ. I started in 2013, so you figure... What is that, 7, 8 years? I started way back working on a... So at the time, Sonic Aether had discontinued, not discontinued, but basically had dropped his shader in, as he grew himself in his own personal career. He started working on Unity assets and other things to make a primary source of income for himself. In this time, there was a lot of bugs still left over within SUSE. So I started to slowly figure out how to fix it up. So I started doing that, and I made a paste bin, and this paste bin had at the beginning a few tweaks and things like that to fix some bugs throughout the shader. And then SUSE eventually came back, and he still didn't fix a lot of the things that I had fixed. So my paste bin still stayed valid for people who wanted to. And slowly he started to pick it back up again. He started making some major changes, removing effects or anything else. So we kind of kept all of the old effects around and possible to keep them in, all kinds of stuff. So essentially I personally started out modifying SUSE. I kind of just fixed it up. And eventually that paste bin got to the point where it was literally 10,000 lines long. And it got to the point where it basically was a different shader. Like, it genuinely was a different shader. And it would take someone probably almost an hour or two just to copy paste everything over the code in the areas. And even then, a lot of people had a lot of struggles with it. So we made a little project called SUSE Complete. And SUSE Complete at the time was essentially all of the effects that Sonic Aether had ever made put into one shader, and you could flip between them. It had all of the fixes. We added back the volumetric clouds and everything else that he had released. And it became its own thing, almost. A little bit afterwards, we got permission from Sonic Aether to be able to release it as its own standalone shader. And After that, we rebranded over to Continuum because why not? Zeus Complete was kind of his thing, and we didn't wanna to name whore that one. So from there, we started working all the way up to 1.3. 1.3 is still technically 1.3 is still Sonic Aether's original code base based on O2 and everything else. In Continuum 2.0, I decided to rewrite everything from the ground up. This, I believe, was around 2015 or 2016. At the time, I was not a smart bean, let me tell you that much. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I am a very stubborn individual, and if I can't get something right, I will stick with it until it is right. So Continuum 2.0 was a very, very incomplete project with a lot of effects that were correct, mixed with a lot of effects that weren't correct, and it just created this clashing thing, and that is currently what you guys are experiencing right now, is the Continuum 2.0. I think that actually the final version came out in like 2018, so it's been a minute. It's been like 3 years while we've been working on this. And of course, as we've worked through 2.1, we got distracted with RT and everything else. So we are making our way towards more releases for the public eventually. We don't want to give up too much in way of hopes there. Let's catch up with chat real quick. I went on a rant. Coding experience, yeah. So if you have any C experience, that's the syntax. If you're from that, then it should be very, very comfortable. And actually, yes, Alibaba, that is a correct statement. Virtual Conquer was Brad. He was the one who made Zeus Complete with me and the very initial versions of Continuum shaders. He backed down in, I want to say, 2017, I want to say. He had kids, and he was going to school for game development, and he was just too busy, and he wanted to do other things. With shader tutorials. They will be back one day, but they'll be under Shader Labs probably, and I gotta build that out way more, and that's a whole thing in itself. But for me to consider even starting up the actual big rollout for Shader Labs as an actual academic platform would be completing Focal Engine and making that available source for everyone to use and to look at. So yeah, how long has it been? It's been like 30 minutes. We can chill out for a little more just with questions, and I really do gotta work. But yeah, Hawks is right. Legacy is on the back burner. We have more important stuff. I want to get Focal Engine in a better spot when we do it. When I say fast, I mean like I want it fast. And I think we're caught up. Cool. So, what are we gonna work on? I think we're gonna be doing filtering. I think was what I was about to do. So why don't we take a look, shall we? I think should be fine. Start peering into it, shall we? So that would appear like it has started to work. We do have 2 ways, so we can turn this radius up to 2, I believe, and then we can also turn this radius up to 2, and let's see how we're doing. I'll actually create a 5x5 blur and a smaller. Ooh, that's fun. What's going on there? So we have -2 to +2, I-core plus
plus -2, abs this equals 0, and then 1. What are you doing? It's making everything so angry. What, was it actually just this that I did? Is that what made it angry? We're using version 460 primarily. Technically, some of the stuff we're doing, like 460 really isn't, it didn't add much. So that's XX, and then we should have YY on that. Yeah, that's really weird. Why is that throwing a whole bunch of access error bullshit? What are you doing? Why are you doing? That does not make much sense. What if we just do this? And then we do... Actually, let's just do this. No, that's not where that goes. What are you doing? Why? That's very interesting. Because it should just clamp to edge whenever it's doing that thing, unless we're... I wonder if you're getting upset about the luminance. Just curious. Oh, duh. That's fine. Give me a sec. Don't you access error me, you son of a bitch. There we go. Yeah, so it is in the weight. Something's getting mad at my weights. Why must you be angry? Is it restart implementation? No, this isn't even RT. This is 2.1. Will this be able to run on a GTX 1070? I'm running it around a 1080 Ti right now. I'm not giving any performance metrics yet, but it's pretty decent. Gotta say, it's pretty good. Okay, so where are you getting mad at? What are you doing? So it's in the weights. Is it the kernel weights for some reason having a stroke? I doubt it. It's probably in the normal or something stupid. That would be very strange if that was what was actually throwing it. Doesn't make much sense. 2.1 for focal versus 2.1 for focal has a new sky model, has dramatically improved FPS. And yeah, a couple other things. It's just way more refined. It's just more refined. So why are you having a stroke? What about you is broken? I don't see it. I mean, we could just remove the weights. It's not a huge deal. You don't really need them. Just do a standard fill. Freaking strange. Unless it's not actually flipping the way it should be, which is possible, I guess. Did it not pull? Am I going crazy right now? Yeah. Weird. What is it doing? Is it not flipping? Yeah, force flip, ambient filter WW, and then I'm definitely reading it from there, all right? Ambient filter, because you're gonna read from feedback A, and then so data A, and then data A can be fetched from that, and that's still a half res. This is all downscaled, right? Downscale, downscale, yes, and then the texture should be down here somewhere. Yeah, ambient data, downscale factor 2, RG32 UI, filtered ambient data, stencil patch, XY data, boom, boom. So what are you doing? That's so gross and bad. Well, I guess we could just start showing shit. Can show some over, what is that, 5? Normal? So it looks like it's the normal somehow. Okay, so what's wrong with the normal tab? Or is it just getting mad because it's like throwing it to 0, or is it going over 1? Or... Oh no, it's definitely mad at the normal. Gotcha. Okay, so that's good. We learned. Bring that, normal that. I can get rid of this. I said get rid of this. And then in here we can change the radius to 3. Just because I want a fairly large radius. There's weights. And then it still doesn't have non-cubic geometry, and its performance is lower for sure. However, the quality of the lighting, in my opinion, is very, 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 very dramatically improved. So why are you having a stroke, you normal? What are you doing? Why do I feel like it's going... No, it can't go negative. It's impossible for it to go negative. Well, this just makes no sense. Oh, wait, what? What did I do? Huh? Did you? That's fine. Okay. Oh! Well, found it. Found the issue. Okay. So 3x3 kernel weights have been expanded, or your kernel weights are not expanded. Then you do normal depth, that's correct. Then normal tap, depth tap, normal tap, depth tap, boom, bish, bosh. And now in the most theoretical theories, if I show, and then right sum times divided by 12, 1, 2, 3. All right, let's see. Let me see you. Hey. That's what I like to see. Now it almost looks like none of the weights are actually going through. So let's find out, shall we? Are you doing what you should be doing? When will we start the Vulkan code for 2.1? Yes. Like, yes. So, anyways. So now I'm upset with the weights. This is a lighting channel. However, one of my weights seems to be very, very angry. Don't know who it is, but it made. Though I really probably should make this an include, just to make this a little easier. Just because this is a little bit annoying. Yeah, I think we honestly don't want to do a kernel weight for this. I think we just want a splat fill. That's rare. Now let's take a look at weight sum, shall we? Show weight sum over. So what would that be technically? Is that 41? Well, no, in this case, I guess it would just, because, right, this is bilat, done. Oh. Let me see with special eyes. Is it exceeding 1? That would be weird. No. Well, actually, in that case, this blur looks like it is working 100% as intended.
So SN2 soon TM.
And also what you're visualizing is whatever I put in this function. So if I want to look at, you know, like 0.5, you just look at 0.5. Ah. You want to look at the normal? You can look at the normal. Have a party. Go crazy. Look at this. Anyways, now that that filter is doing what it should be doing, so 14 taps. 14 taps ain't terrible on a 7th res. I'll call that fine. Okay, so now where is he sampling this? Just out of curiosity. Oh, no, that's not. There we go. No. Hey, there it is. We're only doing a 3x3 tap. This is quite a bit of ops. I think I was talking to DevSH about that, I think. I don't know, I'll figure that out later. We'll loop back. So for
I just started to read documentation about shaders. I would not start in the
documentation. I would probably go and just learn OpenGL, in all honesty. That way you don't just get in like intro to just how the graphics processor works. You get how the CPU tells the graphics processor how to work. I love coffee. Okay. What am I doing? That's not syntax at all. There we go. Okay, what am I doing? Well, to start, we need... You know what, actually? There's nothing stopping me from literally doing this exact thing. Like, literally nothing stopping me from using this. Yeah. Yep. Put this here. Ooh, maybe. Okay, tabbing. Okay, and then grab. Okay. So in this case, we just do this. So then we have weight equals all of that, and then we have iCore tap. Instead of XX, you get XX and YY. And then instead of this, it's an and YY equal 0. And then you continue. Okay, and then grab this. That there. And then we can take.
That doesn't mean to say that you're not doing it. Equally, you don't know
These.
how the universe shines the stars, constellates the constellations, and galactifies the galaxies. You don't know. But that doesn't mean to say that you aren't doing it in just the same way as you're breathing without knowing how you breathe.
So probably 3 more. Normal in here is in world space. Yes, it is. Well, that's quite ideal. So don't do that. Actually, hold up. Let's be smart about optimization, shall we? Like, let's think about things for one goddamn second. Oh, that so sucks though, because we have to do. I guess it's already there though. Let's do this. What is this called again? Pico normal? Decode, but instead. Okay, and that saves a couple of taps for this. And then that also saves a couple tabs for this. And then in the last one, we have to do matrix inverse, decode, depth, unpack. Okay, so your normal and depth are supplied, not sampled. And then the view vector is there, the NOV is there. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's all done. Why shaders are always zipped? Shaders are zipped just for ease of like file transfer. You can't upload a folder. If you unzip it, you just get to look at the files themselves. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we do a 3x3 gather for every yeah, no, it won't do anything. It might load a little faster, like whenever you click on it, just because it doesn't have to unzip anything. Like maybe? That's just a guess though, I don't know. It won't change your frame rate though. Okay, and then that can, wait, no, you need to be here though. So, boop, wait, sum 1. Then we go through, do all of that good stuff. You know what though, in this case, it might just be better to just yeah. In this case, it's totally fine. Then we do a 3x3 search, which we need to reorder into Z orders. That's okay, we can do that later. And then we have normal weight and depth weight, and then we have weight x, y, because yep, and then that, and then plus that, and divide by that, and then you got this, and then you got that, and then all of a sudden you have this, and you can return this. Boop. Okay. Now, let's watch this explode, shall we? Undefined variable, ambient data A. Okay. And which pass is that? Just out of curiosity. Okay. Opaque layer. Actually. So here. For PTGI, the shadow map bias is actually going to be adding or removing more terrain into the shadow map itself. So if you change the bias and it just flattens it out, you won't be able to see as long of a render distance in the shadows themselves. So
be aware of that. Render opaque. Render translucent. You can do that. Wait, really? It's working? Wild shit. So instead, we do... Do we not have a depth? Wait, really? Well, I guess we just get the length of the world position, but... Really? We don't have... Interesting. Well, that's quite obnoxious. Where do you get called? I need the depth in here. This is really annoying. These passes don't have them. That should be okay. I'm pretty sure the view vector is going to be in world. Yeah, cool. That works. Okay, so get ambient light. Ugh, here we go. So we pass in iCord, and then we do blank, or no. And then we do just because it's convenient. Focal Engine doesn't have an installer. You just drag it into your mods folder with Forge or Fabric. Oh, yeah. Do I have an estimate of when Focal Engine will be finished? No. I don't think it's accumulating. Is that a correct statement? That is a correct statement. Accumulate for a long time. What are you set to?
9.5? 9... I think the weight's just limiting it too far. What's going on here? Why are you so sensitive? Are you the sensitive one? No. Are you the sensitive? Gotcha, so it's the depth weight that's like horrifically strong. Yes. Times 12? That might be why. Just don't times. Oh, can you not? Be gone. Be gone. Okay, so this works. And then we can do the accumulation. Going back from 9.5 to like 9.8 just to get a little bit longer. Kind of 280. 975. But now let's pop down to like 25 FPS because some people genuinely actually play at this. Yeah, that's fine. Dude, I need you to not. What is it? What is it? Whatever. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Oh. What is happening there? Oh. Oh. Ah. Ooh. Look at that. That's fun. If we put it back to where it was, does this still happen? I think I just need to add a small bias to it, but... Yeah, it does. Yeah, I just need to add a small bias. Times 2 plus 1, negative 4. Should probably do that across the board. No? What is going on there? Is this the filter doing this, maybe? Wonder if this is the filter. I am not soul shot. What the hell is this doing? What is happening here? Is it the upscale? I really don't know what's happening. I'm not gonna lie. What the hell? Huh? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah. That feels good. Right. Okay. Definitely not this. Yeah, so this is gonna need to be done with a derivative. Otherwise, that's never gonna have a clean result. Why is Minecraft small? I just keep it small. I don't know. I've always done it. Oh, in this case, it's because what I'm rendering is at half resolution. Oh, I know what's going on. Yeah, okay, I know what's going on here. This is just less than ideal, in all honesty. No? Is it my normal that's, like, not happy? Oh, this? Yeah, rain meter. Translucent desktop background. I can get a link, probably. Oh. Is there a link in the thing anywhere? Yeah, but anyways, it's by this person here. If you can read that, and it's called Translucent Taskbar. So yeah. Oh, I see. That's my problem. That's in the wrong space. No? The hell? Is the other normal view space? Something stupid? Oh. What is happening? Am I, like, going crazy right now or something? Like, what the f is going on here?
I am not crazy, right? This is the fucking function that's having a stroke. Yeah, okay. So then the question then becomes, it's probably both of these in all honesty. Nope. So it's in the normal weight, so it's a dot between the normal and the normal tap, and the normal tap is coming out of here as view space. Yeah, so that decodes out in view space, unless... How does this work? Function. Where are you defined? Where are you def... Why aren't you a thing? What are you doing? Yeah, no, that's fine. So then that gives this, and then get ambient light. You're just gonna need a... very, very, very confused right now. Why doesn't this work? The fuck is happening? Just show me this. What is this doing? It looks like this is doing the really wrong thing. No, 100% correct. Okay, so yes. This is in world space, and then this is in world space. So that's, okay, this all makes way more sense now. So this is all world space, so the only thing that we really need to do is we need, when we do this, we do mat 3, and then we need camera, view matrix inverse, then we times that by that, and then in theory, what? Is it negated? What's happening? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I am fucking very, very confused right now. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, yeah. So, yes, this. Is this like negative or something? Doesn't need to go that way? No, what? What are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? I don't think it knows what it's doing. What in the... One of these depths is not what the other one is. Is this like exponential depth or something fucking stupid like that? I don't think it. I'm like 99% certain. Oh. I see. Well, that just makes all kinds of sense. Okay, so you get depth, and then we just need to pop all the way back. And now this makes, okay, this makes sense-ish. I'm mad at it, but it does make sense. I am indeed the one who, well, I'm one of the people who make the Continuum shaders. One of the. I'm indeed involved in the bunch. Okay, are you gonna work now, little asshole? Oh, thank fucking God. That was infuriating. Except that's not working. Love it. Ah, why don't you work? We should be dipping all the way down to 0 in that case, pretty much. It appears as though it is bleeding. Yeah, it doesn't even look like the depth weight is even working. Are you the accumulation doing this, you little asshole? I think it's the accumulation. Fucking dick. Yep. No, actually in this case, it's just the depth. I didn't realize that this was an exponential depth and not a linear depth, and then I was comparing it to a linear thing instead of an exponential thing, and just none of that really works out all the best. So here we are. Yup. So, see, that's causing like a normal bleed. What are you doing? Why are you allowing things in? No. No. that ain't gonna work. Wait, yeah, no, we always want to take the closest depth. If I remember right. Yeah. Yeah, because these don't need a factor, because they don't need the linear conversions. Okay. How do you look? Ooh. Probably have to work a little bit on some of the ghosting. Looks like it's just TAA jitter doing a little bleed. It shouldn't be a big deal. That'll be fairly easy to fix. We'll work on that later. However, I am pleased with the way that this looks now. So, cool. So as far as a specular payload is concerned, with weird question, do you code lights on or off? I have windows and I always keep the windows open. Yeah, that's fine. Ooh. Yeah, that looks good. And then the only thing that I think that I can do now is I need to be able to make this a thing, and then we do... AO... Is there a filter thing in here? AO number of directions, number of subs, AO downscale factor, boop, 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 okay. Shadows are blocky because they're based on shadow mapping, not ray tracing. So like if you want perfect shadows, you go over to Continuum RT and you have a party. Wow, load. Here. You want some shadows? Some crispy shadow goodness? Anyways. But yeah, I develop at 1440p on a 1080 Ti, so probably gives you an idea of what things are like. Can I get away with a radius of 3? Indeed I can. Just barely. There's a little shimmer there. Again, I think that's just going to be a derivative issue. Fix that later. Okay. So, yeah, CRT shadows are they make me happy. They make me very, very happy as a human being. Something is chewing on my CPU right now. Who is chewing? What are you doing? Why yes. Hey, 98% usage. I haven't seen it that high in a minute. That's cool. Good job. Continuum. There's a little bit of a dither pattern that's visible in the first. A better blue noise texture will fix that. So yeah, we can do 2 or 3 optimizations there. That issue just needs to be solved with a blur. This is not ray tracing. This is just me making fast graphics, you know, not necessarily the prettiest graphics, but the fastest graphics. Gotta go fast. Let's play with this guy for a second. I want it to be 23,300. 100. Yeah. In all honesty, my compensation is pretty good for this. I can't complain too much. I just spend my money elsewhere, in all honesty. Yeah, that's basically all it is I just spend my money elsewhere. .1 will never have world space ray tracing. No. This is 2.1. This is our flagship shader. So... we're using a GI method called RSM to do it. Yeah, I mean, this should be what fixes that issue. I'm really digging into the performance of this shader. Like I said, I'm currently running at 1440p on a 1080 Ti. So your 2080 Super is gonna fucking chew through this shit even at 4K. At least at this setting. At least at this setting. I don't want to give a number for the volumetric clouds, and I'm not going to be turning them on at all. But yeah, RSM, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, stands for Reflective Shadow Maps. Makes your shadow map look like it reflects all around, even though it's not actually doing that. Okay, so now we get to play with the fun stuff! Yay! Okay, so the auto exposure is the same auto exposure that's used in RT. It's based on a histogram and it's fucking amazing, at least in my personal opinion. Now, yeah, it's just dramatically improved. Will this run well on a? I'm not giving any information other than I'm currently running at 1440p on a 1080 Ti. And I can say that my FPS is very, very good. And that's all I'll give. That is DDR step reject. Okay. You know, actually, I'm gonna do some cleanup real quick. Okay. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It literally is the exact same implementation, copy pasted. Like I said, Continuum 2.1 and RT are the same shader, minus the lighting. It's the only difference, and performance because of said lighting.
But yes, all of the options that are available in 2.1 are also available in RT, minus like lighting stuff, of course. Again.
Guys, I've had 2 cups of coffee today and I'm still tired. Send help. Alrighty. Did I reload this and make sure this worked? Yes. Okay. And then I'm gonna call that, I think, good. And then let's do, I don't think there's anything on my screen right now that's bad. Right? No, just in case, just because I'm nervous. The shaders are recommended for version, yes. All of the above. I also realized that I muted myself while I censored my screen. Oops. Sorry. That's the button. That's the button for that one. And then this is the button. Cool. Sorry. This is the new PC and the new keyboard, and I don't know my keybinds. Okay, so now that we have lighting, so we have the sky in a legit cube map. So if we want to... So if we want to do lighting... That can't be right. Did I delete something that I shouldn't have deleted? No, it's in compositing. Okay, so we just need... Do we have the cube map in here? Hey, we do. Sampler cube. So, cube maps are really, really fucking cool. So... Oh, excuse me. So here, let's do this. I want to show it. I can't show it there. This one. Sure. Boop. Ah, no. A, no. B. Sorry, it's hard to remember what the luminance values of everything is to get it all into range. Hey, look at this boy. So, we have a real cube map now. It's like an actual cube. We got cube maps for this version of Focal Engine. Yeah. This was like one of the biggest things that like I needed for everything. Yeah, so here, fuck it, I'll talk about it. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? I mean, who's gonna get mad at me? So cube maps are really, really cool because I can technically render the world into a cube map. The way that local capture... So the way that a lot of games do lighting, and we're going to talk about old games in particular because they're very insightful. Specifically, old Source games are a really good example of lighting done right on a very old and limited game. So they use cube map captures. And cube map captures can be used to render the world from a three-dimensional from like a 360-degree perspective. So you have everything around a point rendered. So we can anchor one of those points onto the camera, and then we can render a 360 cube map around the camera. And then we can use this said cube map to fill in additional missing specular information for SSR and other methods like that. It allows for much higher quality reflections, and the edges of things won't dip out the way that they do now. They'll just become less detailed, and it'll be a lot less immersion breaking, I hope. So the way that we're going to be handling here, let's bring up some documentation. Let's give you guys an example of what it's actually like to program on a shader. So we're going to get up some things. We're going to be doing moving frostbite to PBR. So I'm a big fan of not necessarily following one in particular paper for anything. I'm a big fan of doing a lot of different sources for things, like Filament for Google. Is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful source of all kinds of beautiful documentation. Filament design. I don't know, GTA 5 is one of the games I can use. It looks like to be dynamic. Yep. That is that. Indeed I did. Okay, so let's go and do... Let's do... Yeah, we have all that. Yeah. Yes, yes. Okay, I see. You know, I actually haven't thought about this that much. This might be a good idea. But... Because, yeah, we're going to need to pre-filter the map for things, which will be very interesting. Will the Focal engine work well for versions past 1.14? It will only work for versions past 1.14. So with the way the Focal engine is designed, all of the features will come to every platform universally, and it's highly likely that we'll be able to have one jar for all versions across Forge and Fabric. So Forge and Fabric across 1.14, 1.16, and in the future 1.17, all in one jar, and it's always up to date. So all platforms work across the board. So something that we're going to be kind of doing though is we have this kind of setup here where they convolve over the tiles here, and they generate out lower tile resolutions. So I'm going to be doing a lot of fun stuff, calculating and pre-filtering these based on the LD term. And by the way, yeah, it's just, yeah, we're not doing this today. That's okay. We'll get to that later. I just want to get something that's like very basic working right now. So how did cube maps not previously exist? Can you just sample 2D mapping of the cube using some math? I mean, yeah, you could. So before, what we used were called equirectangular projections. Equirectangular projections are a way to map a sphere onto a rectangle. These are very useful. However, they have some very, very distinct, significant drawbacks. So in graphics, we have something called like hardware level bitmaps. And bitmaps exist as essentially like this. You have a big resolution image, and then you have lower resolution images of that larger resolution. You can't bitmap an equirectangular projection well because it will start having projection errors towards the poles and then also towards the horizon. Whereas a cube map has support for everything. Also, if you were to put a cube map into a 2D texture, you can see that there's a lot of wasted space. There would be all of these black tiles here, and like you could move and you could like reorganize this. However, yeah, that's like the weird double swirl. And then there's a lot of waste if you want to do a cube map. So the way that cube maps work in a graphics card sense is there's actually an array of 6 2D textures. And all of these have hardware mipping between the slices of them. So like, for example, we can do texture LOD, right? And then if we want to look at this at like a much lower resolution, we can, and we can just like pop it down to MIP level 4, and then you can see almost all of the detail has been removed out. And then you can actually kind of start to see the cube projection here, where it gets a little funky. But that will all be used in the future. So a pretty quick, basic way to get reflections working, and I believe that we already have this whenever we compute specular reflections for water in particular. That's totally fine. I do want to handle the else case though in this case. And then we can sample the AO, but it's no longer called that. I don't think we have it. Yeah, no, we don't have it. So yeah, reflect over, get the half vector, VOH, that calculates that, which gives me that, and then composite color actually becomes texture lot of cube map IBL and L, and we'll log you at 0. So that's your n.l plus AO. Oh boy, what the fuck is this? I don't know what this is. I think this is an optimization of some kind from something else, but we're not gonna think about that right now. We're just gonna do for now. And then we can turn this off. Oh, what? 123 and 125? 123. Ah, well, that's a problem. And then 123. Ah, I see. Oh, you're welcome. Hey, look at that. Hell yeah. That makes me happy to see. So now, though, we can just do this instead. Okay, so step 1, none of this shit. So CUDA cores don't necessarily really exist anymore. However, the RT acceleration will be coming. So yeah, we gotta get Vulkan in. There's a couple things that need to happen beforehand, but yes, it will eventually come. Promise. Okay, so that gives me that, and then we actually have AO, and then let's go and take a peek. What are you guys doing for your thing? What are you doing? I never know what they're doing. I want to say it's in the appendix. Yeah, there it is. Go. Oh, that's fun. Look at that in the bottom left. Woo! I love it whenever that happens. That's called I fucked up. Wait. Huh? Ooh. Never mind. Oops. Hey. Ah, no. Don't be stupid. Do I want to use blending? I kind of want to use blending. Do I want to use blending? Do I want to? Do I want to? Do I want to? I don't know. This is like so much faster though. That's my problem. Oh yeah, no, filament is amazing. Yeah, no, filament is a wonderful resource. Candyman Max. Focal Engine will be available for more shaders whenever we pull it out of early access, or out of alpha. So when that happens, other shaders will be able to do that. I'm gonna assume that it's. I can already guarantee you that the likelihood of it actually happening this year is basically no. For opening up focal. So I wouldn't expect going too crazy. Okay, so now that we have that, we have this. This makes me angry, but it's probably for the best. It will probably look much better. What the fuck are you doing? What? That makes no sense. What? What are you doing? Excuse me? Lower end shaders will be released maybe at some point this year. Right? We gotta get like our YouTube built out more. So if you're wondering how you fake specular out the ass, here you go. This is how you fake specular. Anyone ever was wondering. Because now we just need a couple of the other G2. What all do we need? We need G2. And we're gonna need that.
I have to pop out my shader identities here in a minute. you don't want to work, we'll just use a vis joint. Bitch. Trying to fuck on me. Oh, I think one of our vectors is wrong then. Oh. Hell yeah. Look at that. Finally, energy is lining up. Yee the fuck ha. Makes me happy. Okay. Now, let me check up on chat. Oh god. When will focal engine be? I already answered that. Would be active if you have something like DLSS. That's possible if NVIDIA decides to grace me with a approval. No, I have not requested yet. Also, if I did, I probably wouldn't be able to talk about it. So, filaments, cool. Yes, it is. Is Vulcan gonna be this year? Highly, highly, highly likely. Wondering when the shader, when it happened, Storm. You should know this. Opinion on Seuss renewed. I love it. Sonic Aether is a beautiful, beautiful bean. When will performance shaders for low-end PCs? Probably at some point this year. I agree. Pepe emojis are needed. Hi, Joba. Well, I'm here to watch something about graphics I will probably never spend. But hello. Actually, your computer may one day be able to run. You keep getting error code 0. That means that you probably just exiting out immediately. I'm assuming that you're trying to run the actual jar. You have to put it in your mods folder. If you want to go over to our blog on our website, there's installation instructions and those. Because hopes up on when Vulcan might happen, though I suspect we might be waiting
year. No. You won't be waiting until next year for Vulcan. That's for sure. I can guarantee that. Show some aerial PP? No. I refuse. Right now, aerial PP is a little weird. I don't want it. Okay, fine. I'll show you some. I'm gonna crank it to shit, though. Okay? We're gonna crank that bitch. Is it gonna be accurate in any meaningful way? Hell the fuck no. It's gonna be pretty? Kinda. Where the fuck is that? Where did I put that? Is it in render atmosphere? Did we ever actually switch over to do the... Nope. Okay. That's funny to me. Sorry. Just giggling to myself. I know what's going on. And it's not good. Okay, so you want aerial perspective times like what, 100? Sounds like a good number. Give me fog. Aerial PP. And it's thick glory. Here, let me go onto like a prettier map. Something with like terrain. I believe shadows right now are disabled. Yeah, shadows right now are disabled. They will be enabled in the full release, but aerial PP. And the time set. What time is this? 150? Because you can see like an effect like this is currently happening where we have like that punch through. Once we get shadows, that will not be the case. But I want to mention that this is like cranked to such an unbelievable metric. So. Oh yeah, it's probably not going to be on the latest Optifine. I keep forgetting, like while we have that in our dev environment, I am like 99.999% sure it's not anywhere else. I don't think we've released it. The next update of Focal Engine will work with all of the latest stuff. It's currently what we're on. You can see them in 116.5 right now with the latest Opti G7. So yeah, there's your aerial PP. It exists. It's there. This is what it's like at its default level. I'm gonna put an artistic control on it because I know people are gonna want it. If we render out some more terrain, I mean like a lot more terrain, sorry. Let's render out like a lot more terrain. Slaughter that CPU, slaughter it. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, lag spikes. 4 days. Hell yeah. Don't mind the pixels sweeping off in the distance. Again, early access. So you can kind of see some of the fog there on the right. No, you don't need 116.4. 116.5 does technically work, but you should definitely use G5. That's the only requirement, technically. I feel comfortable enough talking that. Hell yeah. Water looks perfect. What are you talking about? What the fuck is going on? Does it not have like... What? Where's that light coming from? All right, so we have a version of specular in now, which corrects the BRDF dip from the AO function, and now everything looks lovely. So cool. We have successfully accomplished the goals that I had set out for myself for this stream. Light maps are not working.
Okay, maybe we're not quite. Maybe we're not quite done. Give me a second. Oh, nope, not in there. Nope, not in there. Where are you? Yeah, this one. What did I forget? I thought we had the light map hanging out somewhere. Yes, we do. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. I have returned. My music died. Ring ring. There it goes. Maximus. No comment. Indeed. I don't think. No, it is. It's all red. Okay. Fucking love it. Every time you're like, ooh, I'll add the light map and that'll fix it. Nope. Okay. Continuum RT is going well. Not much work has been done to it. However, all of the work that's been done to 2.1 can be ported straight over. So we have a new sky, we got some new post-processing effects, we got some new methods of optimization that we've run into that will be able to be heavily utilized in CRT. The denoiser especially will be able to get optimized quite significantly. Boink. Yeah, so that needs the derivatives to fix all of the flickering edges. Because that's not a crazy high quality upscale. We'll work on that in a bit.